ahead and start off, and we're already going live. Hey, first and foremost, before I get into my street ministry for the day, we want to go ahead and start off by giving all praises, like always, unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone that teach and that rule well today. And peace and salutation also to the fellow laborers that's in the ministry and the believers that scatter worldwide in all truth and sincerity, day in, day out. Okay, once again, I'm the brother Shaquat Gabar. Okay, once again, out here holding the street ministry on this Saturday. Okay, to prophesy the downfall of America, which is known as Babylon the Great when it comes to the scriptures. Okay, and to wake up you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans through the spirit of Yahweh Shai. Okay, that you are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites. Okay, when it comes to the so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, those that descended out of that bloodline. Okay, by the seed of your father. Because we in the time of prophecies, okay, eventually equal the time of great judgment when it comes to the wrath of Yahweh Shai. Okay, who the word enemy called God, okay, which is named in the Hebrew is Yahweh, meaning he is, or he exists, and the son, who the word enemy called Christ, okay, his name in the Hebrew as well is Yahweh Shai, meaning he is the deliverer, or he is the savior. And at this time, the Lord Yahweh Shai, okay, the heavenly Father, Yahweh about to send his son Yahweh Shai back because of Yahweh Shai's second coming, okay, to bring the great deliverance of the elect of the nation of Israel, which will consider the 144,000 and the 1/3 that's destined to be saved. Okay, and according to the scriptures, Zechariah chapter 13 and 8, 2/3 of so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans going to be cut off and judged by the way of the wrath of the Lord, due to them not believing and not repenting when it comes to Yahweh Shai set up the prophets to give that warning, man. Okay, to you tribes, man. Okay, mainly start with the men of Great Millstone that's out there constantly giving that warning. And the true, sincere brother ain't on doubt. Okay, and you got other Israelite camps out there that's giving warning, okay, or teaching, I say teaching about Israel. But a lot of these Israelite camps, okay, are teaching false doctrines, man. Okay, such as the likes of IUIC, ISUPK, okay, GOCC, WFI, Sons of Thunder, okay, HOI, at this current time, man. Okay, but mainly the men of Great Millstone is always known, okay, to give the true warning and the true teaching of the times that we're in when it comes to the tribes. Okay, especially when it comes to as we're in the time of also approaching the downfall of Esau Edom, the so-called white race. Okay, mainly when it comes to these elites that's in power, as they're trying to force the NWO. Okay, us that's in the faith, we know how things going, which I'm gonna get into through the spirit. A lot is going on lately when it comes to prophecy, man, especially when it comes to the behalf of Esau Edom, man. Okay, and so it's all about prophecies at this time, man. Okay, maybe I'm gonna start off with 2nd Esdras chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I had told thee before. Yeah, so we're supposed to be measuring the times, man. Okay, when it comes to all hell about to break loose. Mainly when it comes to Jacob's trouble. Okay, Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7. Okay, and also how when it comes to Esau Edom moving with his agenda when it comes to this NWO. Okay, you hear more about surveillance. Okay, the coming of biometric. Okay, which all gonna lead to Revelation chapter 13, verse 16, the RFID microchip that's about to be implemented. That's everything going cashless. Okay, a cashless society. Okay, another format of when it comes to a digital currency, they're about to replace the dollar. As more and more the dollar is devaluing. Okay, when it comes to the FRNs. Okay, and you see the people out here struggling and everything when it comes to more job losses, okay, poverty, okay, people coming to the point of civil unrest, leading to all hell about to break loose, division, okay? Hey, due to Esau Edom, okay, try to bring order out of chaos, man. Because once again, these elites have an agenda, which Yahweh Shemel Shah set up the Edomites to be the wicked when it comes to the left-hand side, okay, of Esau, when it comes to Yahweh Shemel Shah, when it comes to Esau Edom, okay, when it comes to the blessing of the sword at this time, okay, when it comes to their rulership, man, okay, and our prayer is the Lord deliver us from the hands of Esau Edom and these heathens, okay, that's in league with them, okay, even when it comes to 2/3 of our people that are sold out and doing the bidding of these elites, man, okay, but only the elect is going to be delivered, man. Okay, so a lot is going on when it comes to us, measuring the times, man. Okay, as the latest, okay, recently, okay, you get, the talks of the Third World War, okay, which is biblical prophecy, okay, the whole idea with the U.S., more and more conflict, okay, with Iran or Iran, okay, and backing up those small hats, okay, when it comes to the state of Israel, okay, when it comes to those phonies over there, Amalek, okay, they're pursuing this, they're soon going to be going into the Third World War, okay, which lately, a couple of days ago, okay, you just had the Ukrainians, okay, attack Iran, okay, one of their cargo ships, okay, commercial ships over there in the Caspian Sea, okay, and we already know about the situation with Ukraine, okay, the conflict with Ukraine and Russia, and when it comes to NATO backing up Ukraine to come against Russia, okay, and America being involved in it, when it comes to their aid, okay, supporting Ukraine, when it comes to the military aid, okay, that now, they're using Ukraine to attack, certain, how can I say, certain resources when it comes to Iran, okay, especially when it comes to that cargo ship, okay, when it comes to, I think it was a military ship, okay, from the Iranians, okay, because for the past couple of months, ever since the whole conflict with the U.S. and Iran, okay, like I say, the small hats, okay, backing them up, okay, the U.S. Over there in the Middle East or Minor Asia has been, depleted when it comes to their war, okay, when it comes to Iran doing missile strikes on certain U.S. Embassies, man, okay, and you had Trump coming out, talking about some of the war. We had the head of the war when it comes to the U.S. Ain't that many Americans, okay, being unalive, okay, even though a lot of U.S. embassies being destroyed over there in Saudi Arabia, okay, close to there, over there in Kuwait, Qatar, okay. But now the news coming out, or information coming out when it comes to alternative news, that you got over down there about 600 plus Americans, soldiers being unalive when it comes to those airstrikes over there, okay, when it comes to Iran, okay, destroying those U.S. embassies, okay. So now they gotta, enforce the Ukrainians to attack Iran, okay, which we know Iran, okay, is backed up or being allies with Russia, okay, which Russia supplied them, okay, when it comes to military equipment, okay, China as well, okay, when it goes into Ezekiel chapter 38 chapter, okay, God or Magog, which is modern day Russia, okay, supplying those countries over there when it comes to Iran, okay, Syria, okay, Libya, Ethiopia, okay, soon to be Turkey, okay, one of the members of NATO, okay, that about ready to come against the lead NATO military might and join forces with Russia, okay, to come against the West, okay. So that's all measuring the times, man. Hey, what else going on, man? You got the whole situation with Fauci, Dr. Fauci. Okay, the whole incident that now he on trial. Okay, when it came to the incidents of 2020. Okay, we know what happened in 2020. Okay, when it comes to the COVID-19, I try to be careful and everything. Just being, going straight forward through the spirit. Okay, because we know they're gonna come with censorship. Okay, but you got the whole COVID-19 situation where Fauci always been the face of pushing the VEX, the jabs. Okay, the safety protocols. Okay, the masses, wearing the mask, 6 feet distance. Okay, and we already know what happened in 2020. Lockdowns, curfews, travel bans due to the whole pandemic. Okay, and the whole support of Esau Edom was pushing those jabs, man. That a lot of our people don't took, and then what these Americans don't took. Okay, but recently, okay, which we know that came most of the time during the time of Biden administration. Okay, and at the end of Biden 4-year administration, he pardoned Fauci. Okay, after all the documents and evidence came out about those JADs. Okay, and this like I say, I ain't going into the medical information disclaimer. Okay. Just going into, the news information that's coming out. Okay. But now, in 2026, about a couple of days ago, you had Ron Paul, who the other individual I think his name I know his name Monero. Okay, I think his name Martin Renero. I forgot his damn name. Basically putting Fauci on blast when it came to the whole trial, and all Fauci could have said is plead the fifth. Okay, plead the fifth and all that, man. Okay, after they done scrutinizing about how he done made millions of dollars. Okay, when they came to that situation when it comes to the COVID. Okay, so now you got that being wrapped up. They're gonna bring more division. Okay, because a lot of these Americans, find out it was a dupe. Okay, because we already know about those JABs, how they want to cut down on the numbers of color. Okay, ethnicity cleansing. That's part of these elites NWO. Okay, like I see, you had Ron Paul scrutinizing Fauci. Okay, and I think his name was Monaro. Okay, they're scrutinizing. And all Fauci could have said is plead the fifth. Okay, hey, but we coming in the times. Hey, you devils ain't gonna be acquitted, man. Okay, and also the hope for that. Okay, we're measuring the times to see the times that we're in, man. Okay? When it comes to these elites agenda. Okay? But ultimately, you didn't want to bring that RFID micro. Okay, the mark of the beast, man. Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. Okay? And besides that, they want to bring more unrighteous decrees. But let me go ahead and get more and more into the scriptures. Second Esdras, once again, chapter 9. Verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. When thou seest part of the signs past, which I had told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time when the highest will begin to visit the world, which he made. Okay, Yahweh Shema through the Spirit. Okay, when it comes to the signs, the prophecies, man. Okay, and when it comes to the Lord sent up the prophets to give that warning. Matter of fact, let's get this. Hey, cause that's why Yahweh Shema Shah, okay, introduced this truth or this word unto us as we in this calling to give a warning of the times ahead. Okay, and the true men of Yahweh Shema Shah gonna be out there prophesying the downfall of this place when it comes to a wicked kingdom, man. especially this place, America. This is Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. And that's the times that we're coming into. It ain't hard to tell, man. It's just spiritual eyes are open. Okay, but even to a certain extent, majority of people starting to feel the squeeze. Okay, but Yahweh Shemar Shai set up the prophets to give that forewarning to the tribes. Okay, that we're coming in a time of evil, which the word evil means bad times, the time of pestilence. Okay, like I said, the whole pandemic, which a lot of that is orchestrated. Okay, when it comes to certain stage events. Okay, now Fauci being brought up on those certain questions. Okay, how he push. Okay, the whole the CV19 jab and all that, being the face of it. Okay, and how he causing a lot of people being unalive. Okay, it's gonna be worse to come. There are people that that already been unalive from it. Okay, but soon to come, here in 2026, people that still got that, that madness. But like I said, I'm trying to be careful, when it comes to taking that, that JAB, that juice, still got that in their system. How it really, more links to, biometric. Okay, when it comes to also with the frequencies that they're ready to turn up when it comes to these, towers. Okay, now you're coming toward the 6G and all that. Okay, but the people that took that, that jump shot, okay, they about to be more effective when they turn those frequencies up. Okay, when it comes to those, I said, those nanobytes that's in. Okay, yeah, so we coming in these times. Okay. Esau Edom being the mad scientist and trying to get off. Okay, but he ain't gonna be quitted, as the scripture says in Nahum 1 and 3. As Fauci, more and more trying to plead the fifth. Okay? Yeah, but when it comes to the words Yahweh Shemar Shai, through his men, has always prophesied the downfall of this place in the current times that we in. Okay, starting with the apostles, bishops, and elders of great millstone, and the brother on down. Especially when it comes to a wicked society as this, America, okay? Which we know this place, America, okay, is our captivity. When it comes to you Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, okay? And we know that Esau Edom is our enemy. And the main thing they want to do when it comes to the NWO is cut us off as a nation. Okay, when it comes to the book of Psalms, the 83rd chapter, okay, going into how they're trying to cut us off as a nation. Okay. Yeah, but at this time, man, we seeing more division amongst the Americans, man. Even amongst these Edomites. These are average American Edomite citizens. Okay, so-called whites, they catching hell, man. Okay, when it comes to poverty. Okay, job losses. Okay. Yeah, cause now you got Trump that's in office. More and more, he's not doing he's not showing his favor toward you American citizens. He's showing his favor towards the small hats. Okay, Amalek. Okay, because now recently you had going on. They put it in law, but now it's official when it comes to the IDF. Okay, Israel Defensive Forces. I believe that what it is. Military join forces with America. Okay, when it comes to the shores of America. Okay, you got Israeli military might, okay, being joint military with American troops. Okay, basically to bring a more standard, a military standard here in the West. Okay, then now you got certain American citizens that's not for it. You got certain American soldiers or veterans, okay, not willing to fight for this country no more. Okay, saying that how they gonna turn in their uniform. Okay, you got certain police forces, okay, throwing their badge, throwing away their badge. Okay, hey, doctors, Okay, saying they ain't willing to, especially when it came to the whole CV 19, how it all was a fraud, how they not ready to, not willing to go towards their agenda when it comes to the medical force and all that. Well, so a lot going on when it comes to vision, man. Okay, when it comes to Esau, Edom, and this place America, okay, declining. And it says, Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8, the prophets that have been before me and before thee are old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, for war and an evil and pestilence. Okay, so there's the times that we're coming into, man. As I gave you, a couple of examples, man. Okay, and I always also going back to measuring the times. Okay, yeah, but you got majority of people, they scoff, they scorn, they make mockery of the prophets of Yahweh Shema Shah. Okay, but that's all right. The Lord only concerned is about the elect. Okay, I'll go back in 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 2. Then shall thou understand that it is the very same time when the highest will begin to visit the world, which he made. Okay, by the way of the signs, by the way of the Lord bringing plagues. Okay, great judgment. And it says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, always seeing that, earthquakes in diverse places, going into Matthew the 24th chapter. Okay, one of the signs of end time prophecy that Lord tells us to look out for when it comes to natural disasters. Okay, and you just earthquakes in diverse places. Earthquakes happen frequently every day. But you just had Japan getting hit, okay, with another 7-point magnitude earthquake. Okay, another country's getting hit, man. Okay, or places. Okay, but we're in a time of severe weather when it comes to the heat. That's going to lead to droughts. Okay, coming into the time of hurricane season, tornado season. These storms. Okay, which we know a lot of these, which eventually all this is the will of Yahweh Shema Shah. A lot of these plagues, by the way of natural disasters, come by the way of the heart machines. Okay, Esau, Edom, modified weather. Okay, machines and all that. And recently now you got more and more talks on data centers. Okay, that plaguing. Okay, the certain lands here in America. And recently you just had, you got people now saying that when it comes to those data centers, they're taking all the resources. When it comes to water, electricity, okay, certain resources that they holding to themselves. When it comes to more data, electricity, and all that, okay. And how got these Edomites or certain Americans saying how these data centers can be crucial to certain people environment when it comes to their habitation, when it comes to their areas. Okay, to the point that then they talking about we trying to can possibly protest against these data centers just in case it might be a protest or they trying to invade these data centers. There you got Esau Edom patrolling, okay, when it comes to the information, patrolling certain data centers with AI robots, okay, AI robot dogs and all that, man, to combat against those protesters, okay. But these data centers, they holding all the water, the resources, the electricity, and everything to themselves, the land. And at the same time, when it comes to those people that's surrounded by those data centers, okay, the utilities prices going up, okay, rent going up, okay, the electricity bills, the water bills, okay, utilities going up, man. Okay, the forcing them to move out their homes or their certain business establishment, okay. Hey, so that's just another way, a part of the squeeze when it comes to Esau Edom with that sword, okay, to bring that to bring his NWO, okay. But I think yesterday I watched the video with Elder Karatazak for GMS on Las Vegas branch, the elder, up and coming elder, Las Vegas branch, Elder Karatazak did a video how over there in Minnesota, okay, their water system got hacked. over 30 water companies over there in Minnesota got hacked. Okay, that they couldn't, they ain't had no water. Okay, based or limited to certain water. They said it was a cyber attack. They blame it on, you know, now the new boogeyman, you know, Iran and all that. Okay, but really it's their own government doing it too. Okay, like I say, all of them going to sit around those data centers, man. Okay. Okay, so we in these times, man. Okay, hey, you got Cuba still experiencing, okay, blackouts, EMP attacks and all that. Okay, rational electricity over there in Cuba. Okay, which most of those citizens of Cuba, when it comes to the tribes, or Israelites, when it comes to Manasseh, the tribe of Manasseh. Okay, so they catching hell over there. Okay, when it comes to the island Cuba. Okay, you already got Trump talking about he want to seize Cuba. You already seized Venezuela. Okay, how he bringing down hell upon Venezuela. Hey, you tribes, man. Okay, so how much more when it comes to this place, America, man? Okay, which is going to lead to more and more uproars of the people, civil unrest, man. Okay, but once again, the Lord only concerned for the elect. Okay, because Yahweh Shema Shah is going to be with the elect in the times of Jacob's trouble. And it says, verse 3, 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 3, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shall thou well understand that the Most High spoke of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Okay, so prophecy. The word prophecy means to say before. And we in the crucial time of prophecy, or the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah fulfilling his will. Okay, when it comes to end time prophecy. Okay, and it says, for like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Okay, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in the wonders and powerful works and endings and effects of signs. Okay, and so the signs. Okay, when it comes to prophecy being fulfilled. Okay, once again, Yahweh Shema Shah said of the prophets. Let me get this. But our people, they scoff, they scorn. Okay, they make mockery. Okay, you see that? Hey, when you follow Elder Manat Zakbak, okay, the elder from GMS, South Carolina, Murder Beach branch. Okay, he's known always on his channel putting a compilation of videos of so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, especially these black Christians that come against the Hebrew Israelites, man. Okay? Okay, eventually the Christians, as a whole, coming against the Hebrew Israelites, like the likes of Vocab Malone. Now I'll touch on him probably in a little bit. Okay, but when it comes to our people, they the main one that criticize the Bible when it comes to the Hebrew Israelites. Okay? Hey, but Yahweh Shema Shah, you got false prophets out there that misleading amongst these camps that I named earlier. Okay? But there ain't gonna be no excuse. Because Yahweh Shema Shah is definitely dealing with the Hebrew Israelites when it comes to the prophets, man, the true prophets. Okay? But majority of people, they scoff and scorn. They make mockery. Hey, to the point they want to come against the prophets physically. Okay? Just as Esau Edom want to come against us, man. Okay? But then we know the Lord, okay, going to disappoint them. Let's get this. Hosea chapter 12, verse 10. I have also spoken by the prophets. I have multiplied visions and used substitutes by the ministry of the prophets. So that's how the Lord speaks by the way of his prophets. Okay, to you tribe, the so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans. Okay, you Israelites, man. Okay, they ain't giving warning to all you nations, man. Okay, especially when it comes to the downfall of Esau, Edom, and these heathens in their future. Okay? If the majority of people don't know, when it comes to this place America will be destroyed by the way of thermonuclear missiles at the peak of the Third World War. And Yahweh shall return it by the way of the vehicles of the angels, the chariots. Okay? Chariots of Israel. And Yahweh shall going to bring war. And that's going to indicate the downfall of Esau, Edom, and these cities, and the 2/3 of our people being destroyed. Okay? But out of that, the Lord only going to deliver the elect by the way of the chairs. Okay, being beamed up. But to say that, because when it comes to the future of these heathens, starting with the elites of Esau, Edom, their future is captivity. Okay, and so that's why the Lord set up the prophets too, to give that warning. Okay, to the tribes when it comes to you Israelites. Okay, whether they hear or forbid. Okay, but also when it comes to the judgment of Esau, Edom. Okay, let me get this. Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou comest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nation. Okay, hey, so the Lord set up the prophets here to be the prophets unto the nations. Okay, once again, you know, when it comes to the gospel, the good news, for the Israelites, when it comes to salvation, deliverance, the kingdom. Okay, but at this time, the elect, okay, because at this time, the 2/3 of our people that are not going to take heed, they're going to be cut off and judged. But for these heathens, the one that has gone out for you, okay, you know, once again, which they rule over us, but their future is going into captivity, okay, up on us, man. Okay, and rightfully so, man. Okay, it's time for a new transition of power, a new management, man. Esau, Edom don't have it, man. Okay, look how corrupt the world is, man. Okay, especially this place in America. Okay, because once Yahweh Shah established the kingdom, okay, they're gonna be it's gonna be a righteous kingdom forevermore, and wickedness is gonna be put out, man. Okay, and so we're giving that warning. Okay, especially when it comes to the warning, knowing that Esau, Edom have a short time left, how you ready to come down with that sword, man? Okay, against you tribes, man, because they see the prophets. They hear this word going out, man. Okay, mainly these elites. Matter of fact, let's get this. I'm just rolling through the spirit. Let's get this. I'm just building up. Amos, chapter 5, verse 10. They hate him that rebuked it. Let me start over again. Amos chapter 5, verse 10. They hate him that rebuketh in the gate. They abhor him that speak upright. Okay? Hey, that's going to Esau, Edom, coming against us, the nation of Israel, when it comes to the prophets. Okay, like I've been going into now lately, which always, but lately, vocab alone. Okay, trying to, criticize or demonize the Hebrew Israelites. Okay, and try to put us as extremists with Islamic. Okay, when it comes to now labeling us as extremists or terrorism. Okay, now you got vocab getting on this, certain you call it presentations and stuff. Okay, trying to debunk the Hebrew Israelites. Okay, but at the same time, he mixed Islam in there, which we don't deal with no Islam. Okay, the God of the Bible is not dealing with Islam. Okay, when it comes to that false doctrine, that majority of our people are into. Okay, which a lot of those people that into that, which a lot of our people, these lost Negroes, mainly the southern kingdom, Judah, these African Americans, lost, which go back, he brought out the Moorism, Moors and all that. Okay, which go back to the Dark Ages. Okay, that. That how Islam came about during the time of the Roman Catholic Church, when it came to the Byzantine Empire and all. Okay, when it came to the Negroes that ruled during that time. Okay, that gave the Ishmaelites, the Arabs, that false doctrine of trying to push them out of the land of Israel. Okay, or amongst the Middle East out of that land. Okay, you got majority of people that got indoctrinated by that false doctrine. Okay, when it came to the Moors. Okay, but mainly these Arabs that's into Islam. Okay, certain Africans, when it comes to the original Africans, the Hamites that's into Islam. Okay, but our people into all type of madness. If not Islam, Christianity, Roman Catholicism, Buddhism, Hinduism. Okay. But when it comes to America and Esau Edom agenda, okay, Islam has always been known to being terrorism. Okay, but now you got vocab alone trying to mix the Hebrew Israelites into that. Okay, being extremists and all that, man. Which is another way to show that he set up, okay, to come against the camps, okay, you know, which is a failing attempt, okay. Because the scripture says you can't do nothing against the truth, but for the truth, okay. But you got Israelites out there that give a reason, okay, they're trying to deem this whole Israelite movement as extremists, okay, because there are a lot of our people that's involved in these Israelite camps, okay, a lot of these Israelites, they push being militant, marching, okay, being intimidated and all that, okay, well, just simply, you're just supposed to go out there and teach the word in all truth and sincerity, okay, with no gimmicks, okay, just go out there and teach the word. But we know a lot of these Israelite camps, they do it for clout, okay, to be seen of men, okay, and more than anything, they're sold out for money, for self-gain, okay. You know, and you know, our people we are a warrior nation, but we ain't in the time of that, man. Okay, matter of fact, let me get this. But this word had reached into the gates of the noble. I'm gonna get that as well. To the point they hated them that rebuked in the gate, because his word had reached into the point that exposing Esau Edom, these elites, their agenda. Okay, also their own tongue falling upon them when it comes to information that we're able to extrapolate through the scriptures to come out and teach and give that warning, and get a warning to your tribes, man. Okay, when it comes to Esau agenda, that's why more and more we come into the time of the feminine of the word as well. Amos 8 and 11. Okay, when it comes to censorship, and let me do this. But we coming in a spiritual aspect. Okay, we're not coming in a carnal mind frame. Let's Corinthians, give me a minute. Here we go. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, to the pulling down of strongholds and casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of Yahweh, and bring it into captivity every thought to the obedience of Yahweh Shai Hamashiach. Okay, so our warfare is not carnal, man. Okay, like a lot of these other camps, man, being militant, out there with, you know, a group of their camps out there with sticks at camp, you know, firearms and all that. Okay, so Sakari always been known for that. Genesis, and we see where they at now. Okay, when it comes to Alazar, okay, and the former member of Sakari. Okay, always trying to introduce that game culture into the truth or Hebrew Israelites. Okay, you see how he ended up. Okay, where he at now, back into the world. Right along with other individuals such as Deacon Akai and Hassad. Okay, were once former members of Sakari. Then they formed their own Israelite, you know, ministry, I say, when it comes to Genesis. But they started switching up on the doctrine, talking about heathen nations can't be saved. The names of the Heavenly Father and the Son in the Hebrew doesn't matter. They revert back to Christ, God and Christ. Started teaching the hell doctrine. Okay, but they always been part of talking about being militant, taking up arms and all that. Okay, they ain't the way, man. Okay, you got ISUPK, okay, doing boot camps and training and all that, fighting. Okay, you know, I think recently, a couple of months ago, they endorsing, okay, up and coming of, trying to get rights from the government, okay, to have gun laws, the gun laws to have permission to have the right to bear arms and all that, for their rights when they go out there to march or some madness like that. Okay, so all type of damn carnality. Okay, but when it comes to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, you won't see them influencing that, pushing that carnality, the right to bear arms, man. But they ain't gonna be the way, man. Okay? Okay, this is a spiritual war. Okay, once again, the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. Okay, but the word of Yahweh Shemel Shai, that's supposed to be Esau Edom. That's about to take them out of power eventually when Yahweh Shai returns. And eventually the Lord is going to raise certain men up. Okay? But they're going to come by the way of a spiritual intervention, by the way of spiritual power, man. Okay? When all hell breaks loose, man. Okay, when it comes to Isaiah chapter 59 and 19. Okay? That's going to come on a spiritual aspect, man. Okay, not taking matters in our own hand, taking up guns, man. Which the gun goes back to Esau Edom blessing when it comes to the sword, man. And you ain't going to be able to defeat Esau Edom with his own sword. Okay, hey, matter of fact, before I get ready to come out here, I watched the elder from Los Angeles, Elder Mawak Zak, okay, channel. Okay, how he went into how, you had Mike Adams from off the naturalnews.com and another individual. Okay, we're going into how all hell break loose and civil unrest break loose. Okay, and everything anarchy. Okay, when it comes to the time of survival. Okay, but they had did a video, Mike Adams and which he Elder Mawak Zak, the spine off of it. Okay, how he was saying, how you had Jakes, and I say Jakes, so-called Negroes, mainly so-called Negroes, and Negro Latinos and Native Americans. Okay, how the YNs, okay, boasting, with their guns, posting and boasting and shooting their guns off when it comes to how they ready for race wars or civil war. Okay, and basically Mike Adams and them and the other individual, how they even said, basically they ain't even got no training. Okay, they out there with their ski mask on, shirts off, pants below their ass. Okay, they just got a firearm thinking they got some power, but they have no training. Okay, I remember Elder Mawak Zak from the main camp up there in Connecticut. He always make mention and say when it comes to guns, niggas guns, they only work on niggas, man. Okay, because our people known to blow each other away. Okay, but wait till all hell break loose when it comes to a race war. But racial tensions is building up. Okay, you hear more and more about the whole situation of Nolan Wells, okay, over the 4th of July. Okay, you had they came out there doing the 4th of July. You had a lot of other black so-called men that got missing going on trips with Edomites or so-called whites during the 4th of July. They end up missing, going out there camping or boating. Okay, and so we in the times the Lord bringing that separation. Okay, hey, but when it comes to you tribes, man, being militant is not going to be the way, man. Okay, once again, the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. Okay, but you're going to have vocab alone trying to push that narrative. Okay, demonization. Okay, that goes into the scriptures of Revelation 12. Hey, because we know vocab set up, man. Okay, when it comes to the accuser of thy brother. Revelation chapter 12, verse verse 10, and it says, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength, and that the kingdom of our power Yahweh, and the power of his anointing Yahweh Shai, okay, and the accuser of thy brethren is cast down, which you accused them before our power day and night. Okay? Because they see the prophets waking up, and eventually the elect waking up. Okay? When it comes to these elites of Esau Edom. To the point they got to come with false accusing, demonization. Okay? Infiltration. okay, sellouts, agents, okay? When it comes to the likes of vocab alone, okay? Trying to demonize us, okay? Even majority of these sellouts amongst our people, okay? Mainly when it comes to a lot of these Israelites that done sold out, okay? That's why Elder Apostle Tahar, okay, calling this year 2026 the year of apostate, okay, agents, infiltration, okay? When it comes to our people, man, provocateurs, they're doing the bidding of Esau, Edom, they demonize really the nation of Israel, okay? But the elect is not going to be deceived, okay? The elect is going to strive serving Yahweh Shema Shai and being on the right path, okay? And that's the number that we strive to be part of, okay? And so the accusing of our brothers is coming when it comes to Esau, Edom, okay? The demonization. But once again, this word has reached into the gates of the nobles. Let's get this. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 1. The burden of Babylon which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. Okay, the burden of Babylon. Okay, which this word is a burden to America. Modern day Babylon, or spiritual Babylon, or mystery Babylon is America. And it says, lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain. Exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles. Okay, yeah, that banner represents the scriptures, the holy scriptures. Okay, when it comes to the prophets, once again, I here to prophesy the downfall of America, the downfall of Esau, Edom, and these seeds. Okay, and at this time, to teach repentance to you tribes, you so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans. But once again, only the elect is going to understand. Okay, once again, only the 2/3 at this time will be cut off in judgment. But his word has went out. Okay, matter of fact, let's get this. To the point of them reaching to the gates of the north, which is eventually going to lead to demonization, false accusing, okay, and censorship, okay, ultimately the famine of the word. Let's get this. There ain't gonna be no excuse for me. The Yahweh Shema Shai has set up the prophets to give that warning. But that's Romans. A lot of people, they not, want to take heed. Okay? Hey, but once again, the word is only for the elect. That's Romans chapter 10, verse 17. So then faith come by hearing, and the hearing by the word of Yahweh, by Shema Shai. But I say, have they not heard? Yes, verily, a sound went into all the earth, and their words unto the ends of the world. Okay, by the way of the internet. Okay, by the way of the ministry being taught by the way of the internet. Okay, videos being uploaded when it comes to the highways and byways, street ministry, and sit-down lessons. Okay, like I said, when it comes to mainly the men of Great Millstone known to always pushing his word. Okay, and the truth is still burning on down. But you got other Israelite camps out there that go out here and there. They might take time off when it comes to, when it comes to being in season or out of season. Okay, partial season Israelites. Okay, they go out there whenever they feel like it, or when it comes to a certain event, certain controversy. They go out there and march, or go out there and with their speaker phones and blow horns and speakers and all that. Barely out there, okay? Barely put up videos, okay? But the whole point of this word is going out, okay? When it comes to the tribes, but only the elect is going to attain it, okay? Romans 11 and 7. The election have attained it, and the rest was blind, okay? But the word has gone out, okay? Yeah, and like I said, we wait till the Lord remove his men, okay? Then they're going to be seeking. Okay, matter of fact, let's do this. Isaiah chapter 55 verse 6. Seeking the Lord while he may be found, call ye upon him while he is near. That's by the way of the prophets. Okay, once again, the Lord spoken by the way of the prophets. Okay, so this is the time now to seek Yahweh Shema Shah. Okay, especially when it comes to the true prophets, and his word being pushed by the way of the internet, especially when it comes to the videos and the lessons of the men of great millstones. Okay, let's get this. Second Chronicles chapter 36, verse 15. The Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai, God of their fathers, sent to them by his messengers, raising up bedtimes and sinning, because he had compassion on his people and on his dwelling place. Okay, so that's how the Lord speaks once again to you tribes. Okay, the majority of people, they in the spirit of mirth. Okay, we're coming into time more and more of a football season, NFL preseason, college football. Okay, we know these things. We in sports and stuff, but we not, letting that be a distraction to us now. Okay, as the latest trend of fashion and entertainment, bread and circus. Okay, children get ready to go back to school. Okay, vacation about to over with. Okay, cruises is over with. People know spending something, in the mirth. Okay, hey, LeBron going to the Philadelphia 76ers. That's what our people are only concerned about, man. Okay, what's gonna happen when it comes to entertainment, the latest rap music, or rap gossip, and all that, the latest trend, the latest challenging, fashion. Okay. In the meantime, all hell breaking loose, the sword being sharp because of Esau Edom. Like I say, when it comes to America, okay, join forces with the small hats when it comes to the IDF over here. Okay, and you get the talks, hear the talks more and more T attacks when it comes to sleeper cells. Okay, they're going to bring more martial law. Okay, detention centers. Okay, but majority of people, when it comes to us out here giving that warning, okay, they mark the messages. Okay, y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Okay, the Hebrew is like the worst thing ever. Okay, all the wickedness that Esau Edom doing, his agenda that they trying to bring forth, how corrupt this world is, but somehow the Hebrew is like it's the worst thing ever. Okay, especially when it comes to our people. Okay, because to say this, a lot of these heathens, they take more heed than to you tribes. Man. There ain't no salvation for them, but it mainly our people that book up against us. That's why the Lord said they were rebellious. Okay, they revolt. Okay, hard-headed, stiff-necked. Okay, Second Chronicles chapter 36, verse 15. And the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai, God of thy fathers, sent to them his messengers while raising up bedtimes and sinning, because he had compassion on his people and on his dwelling place. But they mocked the messages of Yahweh Bashim Shai and despised his words and misused his prophets, until the wrath of the Lord arose against his people, until there was no remedy. Hey, when it comes to the 2/3, they're not going to take you that scoff, and scorn, and make mark. Okay? Like I say, man, at the same time, hey, Lord sharpening that sword when it comes to Esau Edom and their agenda. Okay? About to bring a cashless society. Okay? More surveillance. We're coming out of RFID micro. Okay, start off with that. More surveillance. You hear about Pelletier. Okay, you hear more about the news lately with a lot of these flock cameras. That's surveillance. Okay? When it comes to Esau Edom, building these data centers, all that center gonna sit around about the coming of RFID micro when it comes to surveillance, man, and on that half, man. Okay, especially when it comes to the buying and selling. Okay? Or limitations, okay? You hear more about smart cities, safe zones. Okay, within those zones, you can do a limit of what you can have or what you won't have, or limit what you can go or can't go. Okay, yeah, the travel bans, man. Okay, curfews. Okay, more surveillance. Okay, then they're gonna be backed up by strict legislations of martial law troops. Okay, or AI robots. You hear more and more, or see more and more videos of AI robots. Okay, AI robot dogs, humanoids. Okay, AI robot horses and all that, super soldiers. Okay, that's the time that we in, because that's the blessing of Esau Edom that Lord gave him on the left hand side when it comes to the sword, man, through the spiritual demon Satan. Okay, that's where a lot of our people fail to realize, man. Okay, this is Ezekiel chapter 21, verse 9. Son of man, prophesy and say, thus say the Lord, a sword is sharpened and also furbished. Okay, that sword going into Esau Edom. Okay, that Yahweh Shemel Shah set up. Okay, that's the sword. It is sharpened to make a sword slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? It could tempt the rod of my son as every tree. Okay, so we ain't in no time of mirth. You got a lot of these false Israelite camps pushing mirth. Okay, it's all about partying. Out there in the club. Okay, holding Israelite events when it comes to, you know, party, marching. Okay. You know, pushing making and all that, man. All type of things. Cookouts. Okay, putting on video. That's how we get down over here. Okay. They ain't giving no warning, man, of all hell about the break loose. They ain't preparing you for the sword. Okay? As the true men of Yahweh Shemel Shah is out here preparing and getting you ready for Jacob's trouble. Okay? Isaiah chapter 33, verse 6 say, wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of our times, man. Okay? And trust in Yahweh Shemel Shah. Okay? And have it in the names. Have it in the names of Yahweh Shemel Shah and the spirit that come with it. Okay? Like I said, because not only a lot of these false camps out here in the spirit of mirth, they teaching false doctrine. So they got a double whammy coming from them, for them and those that being misled by them. Okay? Hey, like the apostles, the elders say, you're gonna have certain individuals amongst them that are gonna come out of that madness and eventually be of the elect. Okay, especially when the time comes and all hell break loose, and you know, those that being more and more quiet. But majority of them that being misled, they through. Okay, when it comes to a lot of these false camps. Okay? Start with their heads that mislead them. And Yahweh Shah said, if the blind lead the blind, they both should fall in the pit. Okay, or in the ditch, man. Okay? And it says, Ezekiel chapter 21, verse 11. And he had given it to be furbished that it may be handled. The sword is sharpened, it is furbished to give it into the hand of the slave. And Esau Edom is the slayer, man. And Yahweh Shemel Shah gave him the blessing of to kill the sword. Okay, matter of fact, let's get this. And our prayer that we be delivered from the sword. Okay, that's why we giving diligence to make our calling and election sure. Okay, also the hope for elect. Okay, once again, we know that Esau Edom blessing is the sword, especially when it comes to the point in time of Jacob's trouble. Okay, let's get on Psalms. Psalm chapter 17, verse 13. Arise, O Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Okay, Esau Edom is known as the wicked. Okay, Malachi 1 and 4. Okay, but also the blessing that the Lord gave him is the sword. Okay, which once again, Yahweh Shemel Shah sent him up. Okay, when it comes to the spiritual demon Satan. Okay, and our prayers the Lord deliver us. Okay, from Esau Edom. Hey, working at our own salvation with fear and trembling. Okay, hey, we're looking for the Lord to have mercy upon us when it comes to when it comes to us being repentant, okay, this corrupt flesh, as we're in this captivity up under the curses. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verses 16 through 68. Okay, as we dealing with this sinful flesh, okay, we gotta bear the indignation of the Lord, because we went off as a nation. Okay, but we also know that Esau Edom helped further these afflictions or these curses that Yahweh Shai set up. Okay, to trying to destroy us as a nation. Okay, when it comes to the sword, Yahweh Shai, Esau Edom. Okay, but a lot of our people don't think that. Okay, like I said, man, a lot of our people thinking that they can somehow form their own military, being militant, form their own Israelite community, their own homestead, be off the grid, okay? Trying to build a kingdom within here, okay? Now, it's the reason why we need a savior, man. Okay, Yahweh Shai got to redeem us, man. Okay, and Lord only going to redeem the elect out of the trial and tribulation of Jacob's trouble, man. Okay, our wholehearted trust is in Yahweh Shai. Okay, not ourselves, not this world, not being militant. Okay, not these false gods, most definitely not these false gods. Okay, which more and more gonna lead to our people destruction. Okay, so that's it on that. Let me see. Okay, because we in the time of the beginning of sorrow. Okay, let's get this. This is Second Ezra chapter 16, verse 13. For strong is the right hand that bendeth the bow, his arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss, where they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. Okay, ultimately those thermonuclear missiles, they're gonna completely destroy this place, America, Babylon the Great. Okay, the missiles at the peak of the Third World War, and also leading to the time of Yahweh Shai's second coming. Okay, by the way of the vehicles of the angels, okay, the chariots, bringing war, bringing fire, okay? And I say this, and those of our people that take that RFID microchip, whether in your forehead, your hand, okay, your hands or your forehead, okay? Hey, they're gonna be destroyed by the way of the thermonuclear missiles and the chariots, according to, by the way of fire, according to Revelation chapter 14, verse 9, okay? But the main plague is going to be those missiles, okay, those arrows, okay, they're going to be shot from Russia, China, Iran, okay, certain members of NATO, okay, North Korea, those that got nuclear capability, okay, at the peak of the Third World War, in the midst of Yahweh Shai's second coming, okay, the latest land desolate when it comes to the heathens. Start with the Edomites, okay, the American Edomites, and the 2/3 of so-called Negro Latino Native Americans. Okay, once again. But the elect is going to be delivered. And the elect is not going to take the RFID micro, according to Revelation chapter 20, verse 4. Even if it had to mean being a martyr, okay, being beheaded. Okay? And those that die in the faith, they're going to be the first ones risen up. Okay, when Yahweh Shai return to gather the rest of the elect that's not going to see death. Okay? Thus are the hopeful elect. Okay, but the 2/3 of our people, they're gonna be judged, okay, through the time of Jacob's trouble, okay. And those that be destroyed by the missiles, they're gonna have to be reborn back in the kingdom, being sons and daughters of the elect. Okay, over there in the land of Israel, that land gonna be cleansed by the way of missiles. Okay, because the people that's over there are not the true inheritors when it comes to those phonies. Okay, when it comes to Esau, Edom, in particular Amalek. And that land gonna be cleansed by the way of missiles, courtesy to Russia. Just for us to rightfully own our land again, once Yahweh Shai to send the elect back here on the earth, under the rule of Yahweh Shai, okay, and King David eventually, okay. But the 2/3, which we know about reincarnation, they're going to come back in the kingdom being sons and daughters of the elect. Okay? But the heathen nations that perish from the side, they're going to come back in the kingdom through their bloodline. Okay, those that be reserved from the destruction, from the missiles. Okay? And be reserved for captivity. The ones that perish from this side, they're going to come back in the kingdom, okay, to be in service. Okay? When it comes to Esau, Edom, and these seasons, for that 1,000-year period. Okay? And when it comes to this place, America, it's never going to be inhabited again once the fire and smoke dies down from the missiles. One of the things that's going to inhabit this place is desert-like creatures. Okay? Not nations. And there's going to be a amalgamation of what not to do. Okay? When it comes to wickedness, man. Okay? But the land of Israel is going to be rebuilt, or be built when it comes to the kingdom of Israel, which is the kingdom of Yahweh Shah, starting with the elect. These heathen nations are going to build it up. Okay? To say all that, when it comes to reincarnation. Okay? When it comes to the righteousness, and when it comes to, the wickedness of Esau, Edom, and these heathens, they're going to have to serve out their judgment. Okay? For that 1,000-year period. And after that first 1,000-year period, our everlasting kingdom, because our kingdom is going to be an everlasting kingdom. Okay? After that 1,000-year period, the only nation that's going to be done away with is Esau, Edom, Obadiah 1 and 18. Okay? Let me get back into the second Esdras. Second Esdras, chapter 16, verse 14. And it says, behold, the plagues are sent, and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled, and shall not be put out till consume the foundation of the earth. Ultimately, this place, America, being destroyed. Okay? Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer return not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again. Okay? Verse 16. Verse 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The word woe means destruction. Okay, so our same prayer as Esdras. Okay, who's going to deliver us? Okay, ultimately, it's Yahweh Shema Shah. They're going to deliver us to the hopeful elect. Okay? The beginning of sorrows and great mourning. The beginning of famine and great death. All we seen these things on our rise. Okay, famine. Okay, death. Okay? Wars. Okay, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evil. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Okay, and we at times, man, the person of Jacob trouble. Okay, where the evils is coming, man. Okay? But only the elect is going to be covered. Okay? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. Okay, scourge is known for a whip or another way of form of plagues. The Lord bringing plagues every day, man. Matter of fact, that was Zephaniah, how the Lord brings judgment every day. Every day. But now, we're still in a society that's still everything, I guess, it ain't bad as it's about to get now. Everything's still kosher, still, everything's still, reasonable as usual, working, and people able to, even though they struggling, they catching hell by and by. People catching the hell, they're feeling the squeeze, but they just trying to, don't want to be in reality how this place is going. Okay, like I said, they're still in the spirit of mirth. Okay, they're still in the spirit of comfortability. Okay, meantime, the Lord about to bring all hell. All hell breaking loose. Zephaniah chapter 3. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 5. The Lord, Yahweh Bashim Shai, the just Lord, Yahweh Bashim Shai, is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning do he bringeth his judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust know no shame. Okay, so every day Yahweh Bashim Shai bringing judgment. Okay, the contrary to Papa belief, they have you believe that when it comes to God, he only good. He only just love. He doesn't hate. He doesn't bring judgment when it comes to death. Okay, now Yahweh Shema Shah control both life and death. Okay, those that being born, okay, and eventually those that are being born to receive a judgment when it comes to the reward. When it comes to an evil judgment or righteous judgment. Okay, in this case, when it comes to us, or the hope for that, we're looking for that righteous judgment when it comes to deliverance. Okay, but 2/3 of our people, okay, they're going to receive the reward of the wicked judgment. Okay, let's get this real quick. But that's Isaiah chapter 45, verse 5. I am the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. There is none else. There is no God beside me. I grant thee, though thou hast not known me, and that's majority of people don't know the wrath or the intent of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai when it comes to the understanding of these scriptures, man. Okay, which is spiritual. Okay, the spiritual understanding when it's only given to the elect. Okay, eventually. Because the Lord said, majority of people are spiritual discerned. Okay? Because the Lord blind. Okay? So the Lord only concern is for the elect at this time. Okay? And that's the number that we're striving to be part of. And it says, I form the light, I create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, do all these things. So the Lord created both. Okay? Evil, or good and evil. Life and death, man. Okay, that's what's coming mainly when it comes to judgment. That's what's going to magnify Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay, hey, back in the past, okay, one of the titles of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, his name in the Hebrew, or his title in the Hebrew was Ale Shayim, meaning demon-like power. Okay, yeah, our people forget about the flood. Okay. When it came to Noah. And the scriptures always remind us of that. How the Lord flooded the earth and only saved Noah, his sons, and their wives, making a total of 8 people. Okay, after the flood. Okay, then you had the repopulation, okay, of the nations. Okay, but our people forget about the flood. Our people don't understand when it comes to the time of the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, which America taking on same attributes of wickedness today. Okay, when it comes to that more agenda. Okay, many reasons why this place of America will be destroyed. Okay, our people forget about the flood, Sodom and Gomorrah. Hey, what happened in ancient Egypt. Okay, different previous empires that went against the word or didn't uphold the ways of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai when it comes to the Sidonians, or when it came to our people, us as a nation went off, the Lord brought judgment upon us, man. Okay? When it comes to wickedness, man. Okay? Let's get this. The Lord control all that, man. When it comes to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Yahweh Shah. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. See now that I, even I am he, there is no God with me. I kill, I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. Okay, so Yahweh Bashem Yahushai boasting in his power. Okay, how he controls both life and death. Okay, okay, the intentions of men, women, and children. Okay, the predestination of how the Lord already got everything set up. Man. Okay, to show you the fear of the Lord. There ain't no such thing as self-will. Do as thou will. Okay, the Lord controls the steps of man. Okay, and us are the hopeful elect. We're looking for the Lord to be with us, man. Be part of his help when it comes to the, that fold of the elect. Be forgiven as we in his grace period. And the Lord have favor on us to be part of the elect, to be joint heirs. I'm gonna go get let me see. That.
many times, man. Matter of fact, I'll go back to 2 Ezra chapter 16, and I'll probably get ready to close. Second Ezra chapter 16, verse 19. Behold, famine, plague, and tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for a minute. Okay, the minute going to people that are hard-headed, they're rebellious. Okay, starting with 2/3 of our people. Because we know Esau Edom ain't gonna get right. He's the wicked that the Bible speaks of. Okay, the scripture says, let favor be shown to the wicked, even though he ain't gonna understand. Okay? And when it comes to these seeds as well, because the Lord ain't dealing with these seeds. Okay? Start with the Edomites. Okay? But his word has gone out to you tribes, man. Okay? The Lord only gonna have favor at this time, really. Once again, the elect. The elect, the elect, the elect. And that's the number that we strive to be part of. 144,001/3. Okay? Negro, Latino, and Native American descent. Okay? And it says, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for a minute. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Yeah, it says the Lord bringing plagues every day, once again. Okay, but our people blinded by these false gods, these false teachers, these false doctrine, false prophets. Okay, yeah, once again, but the elect is going to, as I said, the elect has attained and the rest was blind. Okay, so we seeing what's going on. Also, the hopeful elect, how crucial it's about to get, man, through the spirit and physically when it comes to reality, when it comes to the Lord bringing plagues. Okay, judgment. Okay, death at an all-time high, man. Okay. And it says, but for all these things, they shall not turn from the wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Behold, virtues shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in a good case. Even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Okay, ain't that happening? The sword, destruction, war. Okay, famine. Okay, great confusion. Okay. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish in famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and they shall be no more. There shall be no man to comfort them. Okay, so that's how much judgment is going to be, man. Okay. So that's what on that. I get this, and I'll probably get ready for it. So we're coming in these times, man. Okay, we're coming in time more and more division. We're coming of the Third World War. Okay, the coming of RFID microchip, the mark of the beast being implemented more and more. Okay, coming to those steps, man. Okay, judgment. Okay, but in the meantime, the Lord is waking up the elect. Okay, the mission, the hopeful elect. Okay, to show you that we're that much closer. Okay, and the Lord showing signs, man, prophecies, man. Like I said, man, they keep it down comfortable. Matter of fact, let me get this. I'll get this, and I'm gonna get this. Isaiah chapter 66, verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind to render his anger with fury, and his rebukes, a rebuke with flames of fire. It's one by the way, how shall come by the way of the chariots, the so-called UFOs bringing fire, and the thermonuclear destruction. Okay, the missiles as well. And only the Lord going to deliver the elect from out of that destruction again in America. And also with the elect scattered worldwide. Okay, when it comes to Matthew, the 24th chapter, verses 29 through 31. But the main destruction going to take place here in America. Therefore, it's going to be the main deliverance when it comes to the elect out of this place. Okay, also the hopeful elect that dwell here. Okay, have to endure.
Okay, as it says in Matthew chapter 24, verse 14, those that endure to the end, the same shall be saved. Okay? That's the number that we're striving to be part of. And it says, for by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slaying of the Lord shall be many. Okay, so many. Okay? When it comes to only the elect, that remnant being delivered. Like I said, of course, when it comes to 2/3, a mass number of our people being destroyed. Okay? And when it comes to Esau, Edom, and his heathens being judged at this time. Okay? But this is the time now. I'm gonna get this and I'll get ready to close. I know about these storming and love, man. Ecclesiasticus, or the book of Sirach, chapter 5, verse 7. Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day. For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed, and perish in the day of vengeance. Okay, so this is the time now to seek Yahweh Shemel Shai, while he may be found. Okay, as we approaching the day of vengeance, or the wrath of Yahweh Shemel Shai. But only the elect is going to take heed. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and end the lesson here. And I pray that the lesson will edify until next time, Lord willing. I'm going to go ahead and give all praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Akah HaKadosh, double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders, a great millstone that teach and that rule well today. And peace and salutation also to the fellow laborers that's in the ministry and the believers that scatter worldwide in all truth and sincerity, day in and day out. Until next time, Lord willing, shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom.